Dwayne,
Yeah.
what you think of Ohio State?
This is awesome. Going to college here.
You going to college?
As a YouTube channel that does football news on the channel, one of the worst cases of news, I mean the absolute worst case of news that I could ever report on this channel is when someone passes away. Even more specifically, what's even worse than that is when the individual passes away in his mid-20s. That's incredibly premature. Dwayne Haskins was younger than I am, and he died at the age of 25. Now, before we get to this video, we're gonna begin with a brief 10-second moment of silence. Now that we get all that out of the way, let's get to the video. There's not gonna be an intro for this video. The very first thing I wanna address is, and I don't want this to overshadow the video because a part of this video needs to be the celebration of Dwayne Haskins' life. And this very first part, unfortunately, doesn't really have much to do with Dwayne Haskins, but more to do so with the way his death was reported. Because the very first tweet we got about this entire situation was none other than from ESPN's lead NFL insider, Adam Schefter. Now, Adam Schefter has a history of really trying to get those stories out as quickly as possible. And as a result of rushing some stories, unfortunately, he says some pretty horrible things. And in this latest instance, he tweeted out, Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State before struggling to catch on with Washington and Pittsburgh in the NFL, died this morning when he got hit by a car in South Florida, per his agent Cedric Saunders. Haskins would have turned 25 years old on May 3rd. Look, I understand whatever his career was to your opinion was whatever his career was to your opinion. I don't need to hear the struggling part. You know, this is more than just a football player. This is more than just a story. This is a human being that had a family, that had a life story that unfortunately is going to be unwritten. And if you really want to comment on Dwayne Haskins' quote unquote struggles, he was a dominant football player in college. And in addition to that, this year was going to be the year that could have been completely different in his life. He finally caught on with a team that believed in him in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were going to have an open quarterback competition at the QB position. And as a matter of fact, do you know where he was when he died?
Is that Najee Harris? Can I have your autograph, please? You're Burberry? You have money on. Oh my God. Rub your chest. Peace. Step on them motherfuckers. Yeah.
According to Adam Schefter, Dwayne Haskins was training in South Florida with other Steelers quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. He was killed this morning in South Florida when he got hit with a vehicle. So pretty much what we understand went down is Mitchell Trubisky, the brand new quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or one of the brand new quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers, invited down a bunch of players from the Steelers organization so they could get to know one another, because this year's Steelers team might look a little bit different than last year's Steelers team, which is a phenomenal gesture and a great team chemistry building exercise. Dwayne Haskins was there to get to know his new teammates a little bit better. And you could definitely make a strong argument that after being in the league for a few years and finally being in a stable organization with no defined quarterback on the roster, at least not yet, to succeed Ben Roethlisberger, you could have made the argument that this could have been Dwayne Haskins' opportunity to potentially make a push to become the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And unfortunately, he's not going to get that opportunity because he died at the age of 24. The Washington Commanders owners had this to say: "We are devastated to hear the news of the tragic passing of Dwayne Haskins Jr. He was a young man with a tremendous amount of potential who had an infectious personality. To say we are heartbroken is an understatement. Our hearts and prayers are with the members of Dwayne's family and all of those who knew him and loved him." Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, had this to say about the incident: "I am devastated and at a loss for words with the unfortunate passing of Dwayne Haskins. He quickly became part of our Steelers family upon his arrival in Pittsburgh and was one of our hardest workers, both on the field and in our community. Dwayne was a great teammate, but even more so a tremendous friend to so many. I am truly heartbroken. Our thoughts and prayers are with his wife and his entire family during this difficult time." To put things into perspective for you guys, the NFL draft is within the next 20 days. And do you know how old Kenny Pickett is, who is considered to be one of the top quarterback prospects in this year's NFL draft? He is 23 years old. Dwayne Haskins is passing away at the age of 24. He had a lot more football to live, and more importantly, a lot more life to live. Ultimately, it's horrific news to receive on a Saturday morning. Dwayne Haskins was incredibly young. He had a lot more life to live, and he dies at the age of 24. My personal condolences go out to his entire family and his loved ones. I don't know him personally, but from the videos that I see of him, he seemed to have been a remarkable human being that was just starting to figure it out professionally. And profession is just one of many facets of a person's life. It seems like he was a well-liked individual and a genuine good dude, and it's a shame to see him go so soon. I apologize if the tone of this video is a little bit different than most of my other content, and I hope the next video I make is way more positive or isn't as serious as someone unfortunately passing away prematurely. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.